Welcome to the HONA Podcast with Mike and Charl.
I thought you were going to break into song then.
Welcome.
Hi guys, welcome back. So, how are you?
I'm good. It's not always easy living with a heavily pregnant wife. So
Wow, we could get into that, but
it's we're in the latest stages of baby making.
oh my god, why baby making? It's not baby making.
Well, what are you doing?
Oh, well, I'm cooking.
Baby cooking then? Oh, sounds dodgy. Anyway, today's episode is I like these type of episodes. You don't, but I do.
No, I wouldn't say I dislike them, but this is an episode today that Mike is obviously going to get really passionate about. And I know that he loves these. So we'll get into it. And what we're going to talk about is white labeling. So we'll kind of go into... I'm going to admit now, I've got some notes here today because I feel like I'm going to interview Mike.
Oh, wow.
Because this is very much like I say, a podcast that he is going to be...
I should have prepped a little bit there, maybe.
very much passionate about, and he's gonna give a lot of insight. So we're gonna talk about something that not everyone in the industry wants to admit, which is, white labeling. So, quick explanation, Michael. What is white labeling?
Oh, so in a quick and easy way to explain what white labeling is, in the nail industry, it's essentially when somebody just buys a pre-made formulation or product off the shelf and they just relabel or repackage it and sell it to a customer.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
And it's called white labeling, if you imagine. It's just a white label, blank bottle that you pop your logo on and off you go.
So why do you think that that's bad?
So I would argue the word bad. I don't think it's the right approach for the nail industry. In some other industries, it's absolutely fine. I don't think it's the right approach for the nail industry, though, whatsoever. It's extremely important that a brand fully understands the science and the chemistry about the products they're using, because they are then selling these on to other businesses, other nail techs who are putting their reputation, their clients and themselves on the line. A brand has a responsibility, in my opinion, to be able to fully understand the product so they can fully give 100% the right education, advice and transparency to these nail techs, to these clients. And if you white label, you don't have the 100% knowledge or understanding of that product as if you would if you built it from scratch with a chemist.
Yeah, so that leads me on nicely then. So why has HONA never done white labeling? And just to be clear, when we say white labeling, this doesn't just point to white bottles. That's a good point. Like, white labeling's got absolutely nothing to do with the colour of the bottle. I just wanted to put that out
White
there.
labeling is the term that's used in every industry. That is when you buy a pre-made product and you repackage it and sell it as though your own.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the colour of the bottle. So why have HONA never done white labeling?
Yeah.
And I think that comes down to our core, our mission, our morals. We have always been about transparency and about giving the nail tech the highest quality and highest best customer service and advice. And to be able to have done that, we needed to fully understand the chemistry and build it for our customers or for the need in the industry. We created our formulas to address a problem. We didn't just do it to make money, to pick it off a shelf and sell it. We created this to address a problem. And HONA was developed during COVID, when the allergy epidemic exploded. There was a lot of DIY kits. There was a lot of unsafe products on the market. There was a lot of poor education. And so when we were developing our gel savers, it was right in a hotbed of that conversation. So it was created to address a problem. And there was no kind of other products really addressing that. So we knew we had to do something completely new. We couldn't just white label, even if we wanted to, because it didn't exist what we were trying to do.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't something that we could have just picked up off a shelf and easily, gone, oh, well, here's a solution, because there kind of wasn't one, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we're very much at the forefront of this hypoallergenic movement, this forward-thinking formula movement, the safer formula movement, whatever terminology you want to use. We're right at the front of it, and we really try to pioneer and make a difference.
And I think you touched on it there, again, with knowing your formulations, again, that comes along with the education side of it. We didn't make it easy for ourselves in the start, and the fact that, we said, right, well, here is something that is brand new. You have to learn it this way. And I think if we had white labelled, do you think that you know your formula as well as like we do?
You can. In my opinion, you can.
So that'll impact education.
Well, yeah. So, bit of backstory. When we first launched our gel system in, was it July 2021? July, August 2021. We developed it with Jim McConnell from McConnell Labs, and it was purpose-built from mine and Charlotte's recommendation, our feedback, our ears to the ground in the industry based on everything that was happening. And we created a formula that removed all the known allergens that was listed by the British Board of Dermatologists. And when we created it, because Charlotte's an excellent nail tech, you really learned the system, you learned how to use it, you learned all about the science behind it, and then we had to go into the industry and do the same. However, no one was as keen as Charlotte to learn this brand new way of applying this brand new gel system, because they had a system that was already working, and we were the whole hypoallergenic was a nice to have, not an essential to have at the time. And so it was a real big learning curve for us to realise that, hang on, to learn our system was very, very difficult. And that was one of the consequences, one of the pitfalls of creating something from scratch, is that there was a completely new way of applying it. And naively, maybe, we didn't anticipate, a lot of nail techs didn't want to learn a new way on how to apply it.
I think one of the greatest battles that anyone will face going into something with like a brand new product is when people are so set in their own ways and they've been doing it for 20, 30, 40 odd years sometimes. And then to be like, oh no, now we're going to do it this way. Why?
Yeah. And so there was a lot of learning and education to teach them, like, the reason why it gets applied so differently is because it's removed all these monomers that are used for adhesion. So we've had to use different types of oligomers, and a lot of people were like, right, cool, but like, it doesn't apply the same. And you're like, we know.
Oh,
no,
obviously.
It's a completely different product. There's nothing really like this. So that's the pitfall of non-white labeling.
Yeah.
Whereas if we just picked a product we liked from Alibaba, AliExpress, Temu, Amazon, whatever, and we just popped our logo on it, chances are the formulation would already be industry tested and it would work, but at what expense? They wouldn't have known that there's this big movement happening in the UK. They wouldn't have known about the allergies. They wouldn't have known about the recommendations about reducing the certain monomers, and that's where the difference really comes in.
Yeah. So why do you think then it's so common, not to just obviously happen within the nail industry, but in the beauty industry as standard?
Because it's easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's so common because it's easy. And I think the problem is as well is that there might not be as much understanding or education on a lot of people who want to start a nail brand assume what they're buying, they're going to be safe. Why would they be selling? They wouldn't be able to sell it if they wasn't safe. But it's really, really unregulated.
It's so unregulated within the UK.
And so you could buy a product on one of these mass marketplace sites, put your logo on it, and you could just trust them when they say, there's no HEMA in it, or you can trust them and say there's no TPO in there. But then it gets tested. You retest it. You do your due diligence, and oh god, it does actually have it in there. I was misled, and you're like, well, yeah, they're just trying to sell you a product. Their mission is to try and get as much onto you as possible.
Yeah.
And then the difficulty is as well when you do white label, you kind of know yourself that you have to trust these companies, and they're not always trustworthy.
No, definitely not. So do you think then that it's just individuals trying to sort of like think, I want to have a product and I want to sell it, or do you think bigger brands do it too?
That's a good one.
Ooh.
No, I don't think it, because like ultimately there's nothing really wrong with white labeling as a concept. I think it's just not the right way to do it as a nail company. And I know there's a lot of great nail companies out there that completely agree with me. But it's not discriminative. Like small brands do it, big brands do it. It's a really profitable way and economical way of launching a brand.
Yeah.
So I know huge brands doing it. And I know startups doing it. You see new nail brands popping up all the time.
Yeah.
And I really vouch for them, and I'm in their corner. And then when you start looking at the ingredients, you're like, well, I know what factory from China or India that's come from, because I recognize that formula because it's the same as so-and-so's, which is the same as so-and-so's, which is another problem, is that when you white label, that formula's not yours. No. You've bought it like a piece of bread off the shelf.
Yeah.
That formula's not yours. Another brand down the road could have the exact same formula from you. And then there's like 3 or 4 brands all with the exact same formula, just with a different logo on there.
But you think that they could be competitors.
And whereas they may look like competitors, but they're made from the same factory. And that's a real problem as well.
So obviously when we mentioned, because we don't white label, we know our formula. And I think that kind of started with working with chemists right from the beginning. Yeah,
so we've never worked with quote-unquote sales reps. Not sure the best term to use. We speak directly with the chemist. So when we first set up, like I said, it was me and Jim McConnell having conversations on Zoom, on phone calls, creating these formulas. And then as we developed our own stuff and we started bringing things in South Wales, we hired chemists that really, really, really know their stuff. So we're having true dialogue between the chemistry and the science with Charlotte, the actual nail tech who understands what the industry want and need. And that's a real good mix to getting these products. And that's why I think Truebill's been so successful.
Yeah.
But it all stems from wanting to create a safer industry, because the market was absolutely flooded with white labeled products. And when you have that, you don't have the right understanding to be able to give the nail techs the right advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
The reason why HONA, rightly or wrongly, have gone down the path of creating things from scratch is essentially because we needed to address what I believe was this allergy epidemic. We needed to address that because nail techs were losing their careers. And I think as we've grown as a company, we've managed to evolve that even further. And like, I can't wait to show you all our lab and start showing me and Charlotte like creating these products. But that's really, really important to me, and bringing it into South Wales, bringing these highly skilled jobs into South Wales, where Britain and the UK and Wales in particular can fly the flag. Like, we get really, really passionate about being a British-made brand through and through, where we can show the rest of the nail techs, the rest of the UK nail industry that it can be done. And this is the right way, in my opinion, to do it.
Yeah, I think it always echoes back as well to like how we as a company want to be so transparent with things. So,
yeah.
There is no hiding behind just a plain bottle.
Yeah, so all our gel system is what we're referencing here. That's our bread and butter. That's what we're known for. Like, don't get me wrong, we've got nail art bits that we get from the Far East, our chromes, glitters, and stuff like that. Any nail art bit, like, it just makes sense. But like, when it comes to something that's going on the natural nail, that's gonna potentially course of sensitivity, it was very important for us to make sure that we knew exactly what ingredients was going in, and it was specified to mine and Charlotte's request, and that request was based on the information you've learned as a nail tech over the last 20 years, and me over the last 6 years, having my ear to the ground and listening to you guys.
So that leads me on nicely then to, why do you think it matters to nail techs?
I think why it matters to nail techs is because when you know your product's chemistry, and as a nail tech, you can get all this information from us. It's all transparent on the website. You're able to give better advice, a better service, and then better safety, not just for your clients, but for you as well.
Yeah, so we're not just reselling someone else's formula at the end of the day, is it? We're solving problems. Like you sort of mentioned, we're going back to
And I know it's
why we did it in the first place.
Yeah, and I know it sounds arrogant, and it always does like make me a little bit weary when we're saying this. We're trying to solve a problem, but like somebody has to do it first, and somebody has to stand up. Like, and I truly, truly, truly believe that this will be a new normal, and then by companies like HONA, like others, there's like 3 or 4 companies I'm really, really proud of who are very similar to HONA. Who are trying to make a difference in this industry, and I feel like collectively we are making a difference. Like, look around. Before HONA, was there any HEMA-free? Now absolutely every brand has a HEMA-free. And
Even if they're not fully HEMA-free, they have a HEMA-free range.
which is brilliant, because I'm really proud of them.
Yeah.
Because it means that they're understanding, they're listening to the industry, that they,
You need to go that one step further.
well, they may not be, they may feel that they don't need to, but we feel like you can create very, very strong, hard-wearing, long-wearing products without the use of HEMA, HPME, IBOA, TPO. Do you know what I mean? So while we are calling it hypoallergenic, and I know we touched on this on last week's episode, or the week before episodes, it will become a new normal, and then this type of formula which HONA's created will become a new normal, and then we won't need to say hypoallergenic. So that's what I believe. But going back to why it matters to nail techs is that we're not chasing trends here. Like, if anything, we're going against the grain, and we get a lot of stick for this. But we believe this formula, this is an innovation that's going to be the new normal. It is the future, and it's not chasing trends. It's the opposite, the absolute opposite. We get so much hate about what we do because people feel like, do you know what, you've gone too far. You don't need to. Whereas we see the other side of it. We see the dangers of it. We see it in our DMs. We see it in our emails. We see it in our inboxes. And fundamentally, this is the thing that drives me, is that True Build is equal in strength and weight to anything else on the industry, any other builder gel on the industry, without using those ingredients which the Beauty Builder dermatologists have shown the core sensitivities. So if we can do it, I know it's at great cost to HONA, other brands can do it as well. And so that will become a new normal. And when that's the new normal, we'll more than happily drop the HEMA-free, the IBOA-free, the hypoallergenic. Because it's pointless. If everyone becomes that, it kind of like seems stupid to say HEMA-free when everyone's HEMA-free now.
Normal, isn't it?
So I look forward to that day, and I think it's the future.
Here's a question that I haven't got on my sheet, but I just thought of it then. Say HONA ever got to a huge like mass global brand, and like say then
mass global brand,
like universal global brand.
Okay.
That where, you know, when we get to that point that hypoallergenic doesn't kind of like need to be said anymore, would you ever consider offering white label products?
Oh, that's a solid question. On the face of it, it does conflict me because my gut says no, but my head's thinking like, because we have the knowledge and the experience, I don't think we would ever sell HONA's formula and then you stick your logo on it. That's not what we're about, because again, it just contradicts everything I've just said. But we've got the chemists, we've got the knowledge, we've got the experience. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we could do a consultancy where we could have meetings and kind of develop a formula alongside people that's based on what we've learned and stuff like that, maybe. Don't go emailing me, guys. We are in no position to do that yet.
People now going, can you help me develop this?
We are in no position to do that.
That's what I said, for example.
We can't fill our demand. So do not go messaging us saying, I want to start a nail brand. But all I'm saying is, if you do want to start a nail brand, it's a beautiful industry. It's a really beautiful, but it's hard. And all I want you guys to do is, if you are really thinking about doing it, is just really understand the chemistry of the product that's inside what you're going to be purchasing. Those big companies that you're going to be buying from, speak with them and just say, I'm thinking about developing something really bespoke for me. It's going to cost you more, but it's a step in the right direction, and it'll help you really understand what's in there and understand the education, so you can give better service to your customers.
Yeah, I was just about to jump in and say that, like, no matter how good you think your product is, you're always going to get somebody that has questions or has like complaints, and so to be able to confidently answer those customer service emails, if you don't know what's in your product, or if you don't know how to effectively use your product to the best of its ability, you're not going to be able to answer those. So again, that's going to reflect poorly on you as a company.
But you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
Here's a real life example that made me proud, and I'm sure a lot of brands and companies out there were a little bit nervous or whatever about. When the whole TPO thing came out, I knew our formula inside out. So when everyone was starting to mention it on TikTok and on Instagram, and we had an email and people saying, is it in yours? And people started that, and we were like, no, I knew I didn't have to run downstairs, read the bottle, didn't have to go open up an SGS sheet. Look, I know what it was, and no, we haven't used it in years and years and years. And I bet there was a ton of brands who were like, I don't know if ours is in it. And they were, and like,
go and check.
And hey, look, they won't admit that. But I guarantee you, there was some brands like who don't really know their product, who just white labeled, like, I don't know, what is it? How do you spell it? I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
So let's just touch on the cost of doing things the right way as well. So there's a distinct difference between cost and value. And white labelling is quick money, which we've sort of mentioned. Why has HONA chose to do the hard work behind it?
Is it worth it? Or I suppose the question is the difference between cost and value. So this costs a company a lot more to do it that way. So we get empty bottles, we get labels on a roll, we get formulas that are not mixed, ingredients that are not mixed, and we have to do the whole shebang ourselves. That costs time, money, everything. Whereas you can just buy it off a shelf if you do it the other way. You can see the ease difference there. But then the value, in my opinion, is the difference. So while it costs us a lot more, and we don't necessarily charge more than any other brand, the value in what we offer is higher. You as a nail tech, when you use HONA, you should be proud, or you are proud. So if you get a client asking you a question going, well, why do you use HONA? You can say, well, do you know what? It's made by Mike and Charl in South Wales. They don't use any of the ingredients the Beauty Board of Dermatologists say not to use. They're really forward thinking. They invest in nail tech education. They invest in gel system safety. They invest in gel system innovation. They're really flying the flag for beauty businesses as well, British businesses. You're proud to say that. And if you're listening to this now and you have a different product in your hand, a different brand, you're almost, I don't know if I'm proud to say I use this. Maybe you should have a question to yourself. Why are you not proud to use the current brand? Why would you not be really, really, quote unquote, arrogant to say you use it? I think that's the difference between cost and value. It costs us a hell of a lot more to do it our way, but the value it gives you and being able to say, I use HONA, is greater. And I think that offset is important to me.
What's HONA building?
A legacy. look, I don't want to be here for 5-10 years. I want to be here for 100+ years. I want
Personally?
I want the nail industry to be a supremely inspirational and powerful industry, because I've seen what it can be. And it's in a real bit of a sticky situation at the moment, because there's quite a few mismanaged brands out there. There's quite a few poorly formulated products out there. And unfortunately, we're not regulated as much as we should be. Like, a lot of you don't know this, but I'm a patron for the British Beauty Council. I'm not just trying to make a change from the inside the industry. I'm trying to change it on a government level as well. I'm trying to change legal points to make it stricter for companies to be able to just chuck a logo and chuck it on TikTok or Amazon and sell. That shouldn't happen. You should not be able to buy these products on third-party reseller sites like TikTok, like Amazon. And it's something which I'm actively trying to change, but that takes time. And it's all part of trying to build a brand with purpose, trying to build a brand with legacy. I know everything I'm said here, I'm going to get a ton of messages hating on me, but it's about sticking to your morals. And my moral is, I believe what we're doing is the right thing. And it's 2 or 3 other, it's not just HONA. There is 2 or 3 companies I really, really, really respect. And if they don't know who they are, you probably just have a look internally and think, am I doing the right thing? And if your answer is yes, it's probably you. But us all together are going to be making a difference. And I think we're creating a new normal, which is really, really important.
Yeah. Final thoughts and takeaways then. I think you touched on it really, really nicely. We're not here to take shortcuts. We're here to make a difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I know you guys may see me and Charlotte. You think, oh, they run a big company. Oh, are we a big company? I don't know. We run a small to medium company. They must be killing it or smashing it. Look, we're both still living on a director's salary, which is very, very little. We don't take any dividends out. We reinvest everything back into this company. And our belief is that in 15, 20 years' time, we would have built something that is really meaningful. And then is when we can take a step back and understand, like, oh, do you know what? Now we can ease off the throttle a little bit. Now we can enjoy our fruits of our labour, so to speak. But until we've created meaningful change, which I think we've started, until we've created really meaningful change that protects you, the nail tech, our mission isn't complete yet.
Yeah, he's already given me a list whilst I'm on maternity, guys.
That was heavy. That was a heavy episode.
I knew you'd
Let's
love
lighten it up. I'm sorry, guys. I absolutely love those type of episodes because it's talking about why HONA exists. And ultimately, it's really, 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 really a passion project as well as a business. If HONA made no money and we just had 1 or 2 customers, I'd probably still be doing the same thing, but on a smaller scale.
I know you would. I'd be like, stop now.
And I said it a few times. I know we got a couple of other brands who listen to our podcast and look, let's do this together. Do you know what I mean? Let's change this industry together. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. I'm always open. I think collectively we're better than singly. So let's do it together. And if you're a brand that does white label at the moment and you're listening and you don't agree with me, let's just have a conversation, and maybe I can understand your points a little bit more, and I can clarify why I feel the way I did. And look, dialogue's the best thing at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
We're not here to bash anybody who does white label, because there could be a middle ground. You could white label, but you've done a lot of research into all the stuff, and
that's why I kind of wanted to bring that up, in the fact that, like, you know, say for example, in a million years, would we ever do it? Because I would then feel comfortable if I was a brand starting up, if I'd done my research and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I know, I like how HONA does this.
But yeah, like, I'm always open to companies or nail techs who want to ask questions. So if you're thinking about starting a nail brand, reach out to me. If you're an established nail brand and you want to speak to me, or even like get some points clarified, like, email me, message me, DM me, whatever. Like I'm always open to this type of stuff.
If you haven't guessed, Mike loves to talk.
Oh yeah, we had
He's
fun.
always open to dialogue.
Anyway. It was lovely speaking to you all today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. You know the works. Every Friday we have a new podcast. Share away. We're slowly growing it. We do need to clip it up more and put it on TikTok, but that's another conversation. Peace and love, everyone.